Okay guys, here we are back again. Gonna continue with this game. That was strong. You know, just for giggles, I want to. I remember seeing a Phantasy Star 4 strategy guide a long time ago somewhere, and it was like I should have bought it, but it was cheap, like $5. You know, because at the time it was like from a game 10 years ago that no one really played. And I go look for it now, and it's like over $150 now. Like, yeah, never mind. Although I do like the concept. This is sci-fi, no doubt about it. I think Chad's called off for one more battle. But it does depict a world where a calamity happened and society kind of regressed. And then you're finding these little monicums of technology from way back when. Or kill them before they merge. You know, was there another game like that? I really am thinking. You know, Final Fantasy 7 actually did the opposite, where society got advanced, like how was it, like a futuristic thing? It went from like a medieval society to futuristic industrial in less than 10 years. And then you're finding these little pockets of of civilization that you could see that there was a oh great that was previous, like, oh yeah, there was a dragon or something or other when I was a kid. This was before we saw all that. But no, this was like interesting. Salud. You know what? The Fallout's like that. I totally forgot about that. Fallout is exactly that. Well, alright, that's fine. Anyone that's ever played Phantasy Star, there's a clue to those two faces on either side of the entrance. Yeah, I think that was the lady of the night. It's empty. Okay. Ah. All right. I could tell that the layout here isn't as confusing. Moondu!
I think you part of the hot seat.
So was that enough? I just remembered. Still that spot. Already at level 15. Check down here too. Welcome, welcome. It's me. I am playing Phantasy Star. You know, most RPGs never really caught my attention until it was Phantasy Star. You know what? That usually would be a problem for Steeler. That would be a problem. However, this is a ROM hack. They I forgot the team, but they fixed that problem and they did some They added in some content that was censored in the American release. You know, basically everything's the same. They just kind of like put things back in and fix some issues. Yeah, you could. If you have a ROM, you could find the patch called Phantasy Star 4 Restored. And you could just patch up the ROM and like the jokes and some enemies that were missing were put back in. Yeah, it. Oh, really? ROMhacking.net more or less became my most favorite. One of my favorite websites I go to. But now that I have someone, tell me, Force Stealer, you know, how were you introduced to this game, and have you played any of the previous versions? No, I should probably do. Yeah, I knew about the glitch. It was in one of the Phantasy Star pages forums, or Phantasy Star Cave. One of the Phantasy Star fan sites. They mentioned it, and I just I just kept aware of that. I know you didn't necessarily have to max every character to beat the game. I think you could do it for up to around level 50? I forgot what level it was. It's been a while. But yeah, that was just something of a discussion. It should still be good for a while. So I just kept aware of that while I was playing. Like, oh, cool. Alright, hold on. Yeah, how old were you when you played Phantasy Star 2? Oh, you're 50. So I'm guessing you were 16 years old? Upper teens. Oh God. When I was a kid, maybe 6, 7 years old, I accidentally deleted my brother's save file on that game, and he beat the ever living crap out of me for that. And for a while, like I was afraid to play RPGs. Well, not totally afraid, but I did keep in mind that this is something I don't know. He felt bad about it, and he bought me an RPG, Miracle Warriors, on the Master System, and I truly enjoyed it. You know, it got me into like a mindset that these aren't games you should avoid. But yeah, I didn't really play Phantasy Star 2 probably until like my 20s, because I don't know, I had money, and then like and I was just thinking about, what's keeping me? Like, I've beaten part 1, might as well beat part 2, you know. Alright, here we go. Hopefully I'm prepared. Okay, so it's not him. Oh wow, 2, 3. Oh, you picked the first one last. Jeez, how much damage is this guy give me? Have you played Generation 1 on the PS2? I know PS1. I know that game was on a place. I think it was part of a Genesis collection. I think if you go to the first town of no, when you go to the second town in Phantasy Star 2, you unlock Phantasy Star 1. Hold on, let me see. Huh. So you did play that one. I remember playing Generation 1. Yeah, PS3 was done by the same guys that did the Golden Axe port. Like, I forgot what podcast this was. I think it was what was it? Yeah, I think it was the Golden Axe guys, and they were also working on it in the middle of Phantasy Star 2's development. So I think it was like the One Up Retronauts podcast. Let me see. Tyrus. Okay, really? I'm definitely not prepared for this. Okay. Doesn't have. I only have one Moondew. Yeah, I would say it is the best RPG on the Genesis. There was a recent, I don't think I have, hold on. No, I don't think I don't have magic combos right now. I know Bono, but I don't. Same here. I think they gotta be put it in a certain order. Didn't work. Rican needs health. Double slash. Jesus. Oh, I can't go back there. Hold on. Item, escape height, use. I wanna. It's like Gumby right now. I actually came close to buying the strategy guide not too long ago. But this game is much simpler than part 2. So I kind of don't really see a need for it. Man. Yeah, a part of me was really thinking like, you know, it's all diamond from now on. A part of me was really thinking like, how would this game turned out if it stayed on the Sega CD? Oh, right. Black hole. I wanna. I guess I should experiment a little bit. Yeah. I didn't get mine till like way after the fact. A lot of people. How do I put this? Oh, wait, let me save. Yeah, I never had a Saturn. But a lot of people, they have it in their heads that the Sega CD was meant to compete against the Super Nintendo or to be like, as kind of a learning curve. What the Sega CD was more or less trying to find a cheaper way of making software, at the same time competing with the Turbo CD. The Turbo CD in Japan did extremely well, and third parties that made games for it, you know, they third parties that made games for it, you know, they didn't have to spend as much on chips and things like that. So, you know, you could say it was a way for them to like make profits, you know, have a bigger cut of the pie, so to speak. But it didn't turn out too well. A lot of it was garbage shovelware, and Sega saw that it wasn't selling enough units to merit making software for it, so that's why they moved development from the Sega CD to the Genesis and the Saturn. I missed out on the Saturn in its heyday. I really wanted one. I do recall asking my dad for one in my teens. You know, when the Genesis started getting old. But he got me a PlayStation instead. You know, and who am I to complain? I didn't have any money. You know, I wasn't the one earning. You know, and this was in '98. In '98, yeah, early '98, he gave me a PlayStation, and at that point, I wasn't paying attention to the magazines. Yeah, PlayStation was incredible. I'm not gonna hold it against it. But I wasn't paying attention to any attention to the magazines. On my Dreamcast video, I said this, but I didn't know anything what was going on. I didn't know anything about Bernie Stoller. I didn't know. I would get magazines here and there, but like I wouldn't really pay too much attention. And all this stuff was happening. And in my mind, I'm thinking the Saturn is only 3 years old. There's probably all these games I haven't played yet. I can't wait to get my Saturn. I can't wait to play the new Sonic game. Sonic Extreme. Sorry. Sonic Extreme. I remember seeing pictures in one of the magazines. Oh wait, am I going the wrong way? I am going the wrong way. That. I remember seeing it in one of the magazines, and I'm thinking, this game should be out already. As soon as I get that's going to be the first game I'm going to get, as soon as I get my Saturn. And sure enough, you know, when my dad gave me the PlayStation for my birthday that year, I'll be honest, when I got that PlayStation, I was a little disappointed because I really wanted a Saturn, you know, just to kind of keep the whole Sega thing going. But I was happy for it, like, oh, at least I get to play these games now, these other games, and I'll be good. Street Fighter's still on the PlayStation. You know, there's this other Capcom stuff. Ouch. Hold on. There's no rest. There's a Dame to Han. Yeah, I have a list of Saturn games I'm gonna get as soon as I get a chance. Anyway, and I remember my dad took me to Target to pick out a PlayStation game, you know, because I didn't have any games, and he said, "Well, I'll let you pick a game and you can buy it, or you could like play it or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." I go there, and I pick out my game. I picked out WCW Nitro. I was I was a big wrestling fan back in the day, and I was. And I was thinking, like, you know what? Let me see what the Saturn has. Let me see what games I'm missing out on. I go to where the Saturn section is. It's not even a full 4-foot section. There were like 6 games in there, and 3 of those games were part of the in-game. Were part of the free games that came with the Saturn. And I was like, whoa. I saw 6 games and the Saturn, and 1 Saturn unit down there in the bottom. And I was like, this does not look right. What's happening to the Saturn? right? And I couldn't like I couldn't wrap my head around that Sega was in that state, right? I remember seeing advertisements. I remember reading stuff about the magazines. And I'm thinking that Sega's in a good spot. They're not in a good spot. You know, the Nintendo 64 had way more games on there. The PlayStation even more. But the Saturn, that was nothing. I'm like, damn, this doesn't look good. You know, and then like I talked to my brother's friends because, you know, they were they knew more about the games. And they were just telling me that, yeah, Sega's not doing too good right now. And ouch. And that's how yeah, infighting, turbo management, and I was thinking like I really wanted I really didn't want Sega to die. That was the thing, like I don't want Sega to die. Eventually Sega would leave the game market, but at that time I just didn't want them going away. I would eventually get a Saturn for myself around 2005, around the same time as the 360. And I would just start buying games I remember seeing in magazines. What do I have? I have a list somewhere. The first game I bought, I remember, was X-Men vs. Street Fighter and an action replay card. That's what I bought, and then like hold on, technique, chess, rest, heal yourself. Then I got like Dark Legends. Then I got King of Fighters 95. It took a long time. Well, the thing about how to program for the Saturn is that when Sega designed the console, everyone around them were still making arcade games. When you look at an arcade board, there are multiple processors, and with assembly language, you could give specific instructions to those processors, and you'll get like a good graphics. You'll get good effects appearing on screen. Parallel programming isn't something new. Capcom knew how to do it, Konami knew how to do it, Sega knew how to do it. Like almost every video game company in Japan that was still making arcade games at the time knew how to program in that style. In America, not so much. The idea of making a game on a console, you have your processor, you have your GPU, and you have your RAM. And that is how that is how like it. Hold on, let me fight this guy. I'm getting distracted. But that's how an American programmer will think. Like one beefy processor and the GPU and the RAM, and you'll and everything works in tandem. What is this thing? Shadow Blade? Ugh, it's not as good. Huh. Yeah, it was hard, but it wasn't impossible. You know, what Sega needed to do was create proper SDKs. Like, proper toolkits that would have told people, like, all right, you know, this is the, man, I'm an amateur programmer, so I'm trying to remember, but these are the addresses that do this, these are the addresses to do that. When you're trying to, like, create polygons or whatever, these are the addresses that handle the geometry, and these are the addresses that access the RAM. When you're calling for RAM, put in the, you know, something like that. They weren't good. What Sega was giving out wasn't good tools. They were half-assed tools, and they were basically telling game creators to just figure it out. Like, here's a hardware, figure it out. And it wasn't like that. It was, you know, figuring out takes time and money. Not everyone had that. But I'll be honest, man, the Genesis was, I mean, the Saturn was able to do some pretty good things. There was a, like BDP-1 and BDP-2 being used in tandem, creating infinite planes. Well, like the Genesis and Super Nintendo, what they had, like 2-3 planes each. But the Saturn, like, it's just planes at the wazoo, infinite, and infinite scrolling ground. That's really. Oh yeah, that's another one I bought. The reason I got that one on the Saturn was because the PlayStation version doesn't work well on the PS2 or PS3. I remember getting to the end and the game just goes black. I was like, damn it! Like, one of my favorite fighting games on the PlayStation doesn't work on the newer systems. And I saw the Saturn version for like $20 at a mom and pop store. I was like, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get it. You know what game I wanna? I bought it because I heard it's part of the Landstalker series, but I've never gotten past the first section. Is Dark Savior. I think when I'm done with this game, I'll bring over my my Saturn and I'll start playing that. Debbie. I could tell you why. The Saturn had a unique ability to have so many sprites on screen. The amount of RAM necessary to make a game like SimCity 2000 would be incredibly difficult with the little RAM that the PlayStation had. But the Saturn could do a game like that in strides. Yeah, the term arcade perfect always came up at those days. But you're older than me, so you surely know this. But really, I played a lot of Street Fighter during those days, and uh-oh. Is that him? Oh, yeah, there was I wish they would have brought these over, but there was the Capcom collections that they had in Japan. I wish they would have brought them over. Like 1942 I think Final Fight was part of that. I think there was like 3 volumes. And unlike the PlayStation version that had to be tweaked, the Saturn didn't really need that many modifications in the code to get running. Like I said, Capcom was used to making parallel programming, and with the available RAM that was on the Saturn, they were making those ports really good. What was it? There was also the Dungeon and Dragon side-scrolling beat 'em up. That was another one. The downside, though, now, I heard this conversation, and I'm pretty sure you remember it. And this is something I also heard from Sega Lord X. Back in the day, the magazines were comparing how Ridge Racer looks in the arcade and how it turns out on the PlayStation, and how Daytona USA looked in the arcade and how it looked on the Saturn. That is an incredibly unfair comparison. Because one, the hardware that Ridge Racer was running on, the gap between that and the PlayStation wasn't as big. What was incredibly big was the hardware that Daytona USA was running on and what eventually turned out on the Saturn. You're talking about a piece of hardware that's like hundreds of thousands of dollars to make, and and then trying to get a game from that and putting that into a system that was only $500 at the time. And the fact that they got it working and moving that well is pretty much a miracle. It's an accomplishment of ingenuity that has not been done like up until that point. Namco, their stuff that they released later down the line was incredibly similar to the PlayStation hardware. You know, if you look at, was it System16.com, you can see it. The hardware that Namco was using was just like upgraded components that the PlayStation was using. So it's kind of unfair to compare those two. But Sega did get it right. They tried to get the arcade feel in there, and they did an incredibly good job. And I would say the Saturn version is a little bit more better, because that game actually runs at 60 frames as opposed to the 53 in arcade. Dark Force. Oh, I don't like that name. I really don't. Yeah, I read, was it? No, I was listening to something, and apparently the arcade version of Ultimate Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 3 ran at something like 53, 54 frames a second, and the Saturn one ran at 60. You know, I think that's how it was. Really? Yeah, it wasn't because the Saturn was like extra powerful and anything. It was because what was it, Avalanche? I forgot who. or was it GT Interactive? I forgot who made the Saturn port, but when they got the arcade code and they were assigning like the functions to the processors, they didn't even care about like the arcade speed or anything. They were just doing it as they would make a regular video game, and that's why that's why the Saturn version came out at 60 frames a second, was because, you know, the guys that did the port, you know, when they were porting the code, they just made it like they would a regular video game. Yeah, and they did a good job. I'm pretty sure if you ever to play the arcade version or one of the compilations, if you ever play one of the like what was it? If you ever played the Mortal Kombat compilation on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, and then you were to play the Saturn one, you could tell that the Saturn one feels a little bit faster than arcade. No? Was it a different game? No, I'm pretty sure it was Mortal Kombat 3 and Ultimate Mortal Kombat that was a little bit faster on the Saturn. Or was it Mortal Kombat Trilogy? Okay, now I gotta look. You know, let me fight this guy and then I'll look. My crosscut's not working. Keep on defending. Fight. Fight. Really? Oh, there he is. Really? I should try that next. Well, not getting processed. Well, I don't know about Mortal Kombat 3, but Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on the Genesis was pretty good. RPGs. Ask me, or let me ask you. Should I get Dragon Force or Shining Wisdom? Like what? Like I have enough money for one or the other. Alright, Shining Wisdom. Pretty quick. I gotta look that up, man. What's my number? I don't know. 15? This is kind of the beginning of the game. Dragon Force. Does Dragon Force play something similar to like Kingdoms Under Fire? See. Sorry, get going. All right. That's there's still guns in this game. Basically the same. I guess I'll look for Shining Wisdom then. Great. Where is directly south? Oh. You know, I have to wonder. The, was there ever plans of bringing Lunar onto the Saturn? Because I know it came out in Japan, but was there a Saturn plan? Like, you know, the working designs, like, had ideas of bringing it over. Right. Is there any contact with any of these old school game designers? Hold on, where? Here, let me look at the map. Okay. Looks like there's Archipelago down there. Yeah, Lunar, the Silver Star Story, and Lunar Eternal Blue. There was one on the Sega Saturn in Japan. It also used like a video adapter, so the FMV could look cleaner, I guess. But how do I put this? The PlayStation version came out over here through Working Designs. Yeah. Yeah, the PlayStation version came out here through Working Designs, and I was wondering, was there ever plans to make a Saturn release? I started playing Lunar on the PlayStation, but I never. Oh, there we go. Here, I'll give up antidote. Second story. You know what I do with games like that is that, like, I'll save up, buy it, and then sell it soon thereafter I'm done playing them. I just did that with Blackthorn on the 32X. That I was gonna get Magic Knight Raider one time, but I saw how it played and I'm like, yeah, that is something I would probably buy then resell right away. Although one game I really regret selling was Rage of the Dragons on the Neo Geo. I bought that for like $500, and then I sold it for 500 and some change the following year. And now that game is like worth like 7-8 grand now. Oh, it kills me sometimes. You know, like I should have just held on to it. Yeah, I was having a financial situation, and that was the game that would give me the most money at the time. So I was like, might as well. Yeah. You know, I'm eyeing a couple of games I might want to sell, but geez, I don't know how much they're gonna be worth tomorrow, or if I, really? Yeah, but I try to like now. I'll be honest, I don't know where I'm going. That is impressive. I don't have anything from when I was a kid. There we go. I have a couple of my video games from when I was a kid. Some of my Master System games, but never oh. But nothing like toys. No, I don't think I can. Let me see. Nah, I don't see that option. Oh man, someone's house? Nah, that's cool, man. You don't have to show me your Voltrons. I had a lot of Transformers as a kid. And a few G.I. Joes. Nah, but and I wasn't able to hold on to them. I had a Spock action figure for the longest time, but I think in my 20s, that one of my little cousins took it, Man, they're worth good money because of the nostalgia. They're there are some stuff I wish I held on to, but man, like my parents, there were the parents that said you're getting too old for this, and it's like not, it's not worth it. Like they were like, it's not worth it. You don't have any room. Oh wow, Rock'em Sock'em, bro. But that's going way back though. Oh wait, there's no weapon shop here? Let me save. Yeah, you know, my mom forced me to give a bunch of my Genesis games to my cousins. And again, you know, right after I got my PlayStation, she goes, you don't need if you have a PlayStation, you don't need the Genesis anymore. And then she, you know, she kind of forced me to, what does it take to kill this guy? Jeez. At my protest, like I didn't want to. Well, a bunch of good games too. Another side quest. Oh, what's over on this side? Ah! You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, I'm all stocked up full of Diemate. Alright. Diemate use on Chaz. I don't really like that name. I like his Japanese name better. Rudy. I could. Rudy is a better name than Chaz. Don't you agree? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Whose idea was it to name him Chaz? Really, Chaz. Chaz. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever. Titanium gear. Is it different from? What is it? Okay, there we go. It's meant for Denny. I guess so. As much as I don't approve some of the alterations that Working Design sometimes does, I think they would have done a better job of translating the game. I honestly do. Alright, another amateur. What did I... Ceramic armor? Is it all for Demi? Yes, guess so. Huh. It is... especially when you're translating between two different languages as different as English and Japanese, but when they were not taking too many liberties, Working Designs would probably have done some of the item names a little bit more accurate. The only reason they didn't get to do it was because Sega of America caught wind that they were planning to bring this game over. Allegedly, this is all like alleged or like secondhand information. But one of the Working Design honchos in a recent interview said that they had that Sega of America had no plans of bringing this game over, and Working Designs went straight to Sega of Japan and asked if they could bring the game over, which they did. Which they did with games like Popful Mail. I think Popful Mail was done in Sega Japan, but published over here from Working Designs. So they were going to do the same for this game, but you know, SOA, Sega of America, heard that heard what Working Designs was planning to do, so they just took the initiative and you know got to working on. Said, all right, well, no, we'll be the ones that port this game over. You Working Design, stick to your own thing, but we're gonna port it. You know, at least with the items. I'm not sure about the dialogue. I'm not sure if that would have stayed the same. I gotta assume it would have stayed somewhat the same though. I know they took many liberties with Popful Mail. There was all these like 90s references and bad parodies of actors and stuff. Yeah. A lot of people did it. Like, I know with Popful Mail, I know they took a lot of liberties when it comes to some of the dialogue. But it worked out okay, right? It's like they didn't censor anything or whatever. I think they were just like doing a lot of slapstick humor. And it just didn't like, you know, it played great. They made it a little harder because they didn't want someone to rent the game then return it the next day. And sorry, just concentrate on killing these guys. Damn! Those... Yeah. You know, those I'm willing to give leeway on a lot of translation errors. Only on RPGs, because you're talking about pages and pages, like an entire Bible's worth of dialogue that you got to go through and translate. And if there's typos or a mispronunciation or something, okay, I could get that. But when people go in and start altering like the story or changing the narrative, you know, that rubs me the wrong way. Oh hell. Like the word slave, right? Let's take this fight for example. I'm pretty sure in Japanese, slave could mean a lot of different things. I personally would have called this robot Sentinel. A Sentinel, you know, it's big, it's anonymous, it doesn't move, but it has a presence. You know, it can move right now. But man, no joke. I should sell some of this stuff. Great. Oh wait, I was already here. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Let's go down. Now I got two of these guys. Ouch. Ouch. No, I really have to play that game. It is a game that a lot of the guys talked about back at school. But a lot of it was spoiled for me. Because everyone would just talk about it. At that time, I had no interest in RPGs. At the time, I had no interest in RPGs. I just like. Hold on. So whenever they would say anything about it, I was like, oh, well, I guess this is what happened in the game, right? So when I finally bought Final Fantasy VII on, like, I don't know, about a year ago, I was like, I'll get to it eventually, but I get, you know, I know, I guess I really have to, like, oh hell. These things just keep on getting bigger, don't they? Oh, thank God, I died easily. Kids today, they don't use their imaginations, they just kind of like... Am I back outside? Oh my God. Alright, screw. I get distracted so easily. Oh, and a big laser shot. Do I have a... I don't think any of my characters have watt right now. Wattage. Nothing here. I wish it was a record guy. Oh, Kane. Oh, where's Rika? Gyres, Chas. The last time I played this was in 2010. And I only ever played it like once. And it was on emulator. Am I missing something? Yeah, I played on the emulator. I beat it on the emulator. Then, like a couple of months later, you know, I found it in box at my local mom and pop game store. And you know, and then I started playing it again because I said, you know what, it's not a real win until I beat it on the Genesis. So I started playing, but I was like, yeah, you know what, it's okay. So I stopped playing it for a while, and then when I tried to get back in, I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So I stopped playing it. Well, there he goes. I gotta go up there. But man, I don't like what Sega did. How do I put this? Tom Kalinske, someone asked him. I don't know if it was the Retrocast or one of the Sega guys, podcast guys, but someone asked him like, what was the idea of replacing the plastic clamshell with the cardboard box? You know, and a lot of people like the plastic clamshell. It worked. Let's see. Okay. And he just said, yeah, basically that's the answer. It was cheaper. You know, I don't think that was a good answer, but it was an answer. It was cheaper, and I guess they were already looking to save money in preparations of the Saturn. Man, I was at the CU podcast. Someone asked Ian, like, what is the ratio between games in case and games by the cartridge themselves? Like, he said something like around 50% of all Genesis games out on the market still have their clamshell cases, as opposed to the Nintendo or Super Nintendo that like 10% still do. That storage. Yeah, it was $100. It's one of the biggest ROM cartridges. It's not the biggest. The biggest I think was Super Street Fighter 2, but it is up there. It's one of the reasons why they wanted to make this game on Sega CD was because of how big they wanted the game to be. There we go. No. If I remember right, it was $100. Was it? Yeah, I think it was $100. check, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was $100. I gotta look around this floor. Run. Jesus. I'm gonna end up being up to level 99 before I finish this dungeon. I shouldn't even call it dungeon, it's a base. Okay. Yeah, when I was reading the patch notes, I think in the American version it made it a little harder to grind. Not too much, but I feel like in this hack they made it the same as the Japanese. So I'm actually, it feels like I'm leveling up faster now than I did when I first played it. But that's any RPG. You kind of need a grind. The one game I didn't know its progression system at first was Final Fantasy X. I was playing the game and I was getting all these level ups, but you know, when I got to the next section, I was having a tough time beating these monsters. Quit. No. 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 Yeah, I'm gonna do that, but yeah. That one took me a while to figure out that there was like this branch where when you level up, you get like all these skill points, and then you can apply those skill points to, I think, your defense, your attack, your magic, I guess your skill, what kind of combos you want to pull off or something. And I was like, wow, this is very different from like a typical RPG. I remember thinking. That was one of the few Final Fantasy games I've actually beaten. And it was a nice progressive system. It was really sad too, though. Ooh, equip Grice with the laser axe. Booyah. Huh, nah. Yeah, I can't believe it was. Oh man. I feel like I'm forgetting. Oh, there we go. You know what game? I started playing Final Fantasy X too. I never. Oh man, he's weak. Hold on, let's see. Command. Give him Dimate. Just keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. Oh, great. Was it really? I don't know. I thought it was okay. What? Alright, run. Alright, let's see. Technique, Chaz. Yeah, that's probably why I never finished it. I started it, and I met up with a couple of the characters from the initial game. Hold on, Chaz, Yuka, there we go. Awesome. And then I was like, and then I just kind of lost interest for some reason. I should have kept going too. Like, I don't know, I still have that game somewhere. I'll have to look for it. Were they trying to... Oh man. Glad I didn't go too far. You know, at the time my PlayStation was connected to the living room, so everyone could play. Yeah, and everyone was walking in and out, so people would see what I was playing. You know what? Let me sell some of this stuff. Oops, wrong store. But now that now that I live away from home, I guess I'll give that game another shot. Sell. I guess I could sell the ceramic shield. Yes. Sell the ceramic knife. Yes. Sell the ceramic torch. Yes. Sell the ceramic sword. Yes. Man, I'm just hoarding stuff. And during that time, I wasn't really being careful with my money. I was buying games left and right. It was let's see. At the time, I was given an Xbox as a graduation gift. Then soon thereafter I got a job, a part-time job, and I bought a GameCube. And then I was gonna ignore the PlayStation 2 because of what happened to the Dreamcast. But I saw the games that were coming out, and I was thinking about buying it, but I was on the fence. And then my boss, my boss was going around asking if if anyone wanted to buy something, or they wanted to buy some groceries, just so we could make sales for the day. I think we were like something like $100-something away from making sales. And she caught me looking at the PlayStation and asked if I had any plans or something, if I wanted to buy the PlayStation. Well, I told her, like, yeah, I was thinking about buying the PlayStation, but I don't know. And I told her, and she told me, I'll knock off an additional 15% off if you buy it. And I was like, all right, that was a couple of bucks off. And then that was it. I bought the PlayStation, and then the following day got Final Fantasy X as one of my first games. And then Final Fantasy X is one of my first games. And then like after I beat that, I bought Final Fantasy X too. Here, you know what? Let me let me save. Your first Final Fantasy was Legend on the Game Boy. Huh. Whoa. Yeah, that was that was the last one on the original PlayStation. It was like an homage to the original Final Fantasies on the Nintendo, I think, right? I never got that one. Maybe I should get it. Great. Antidote. Use on Chaz. And PlayStation 1. As awesome as I think the PlayStation is, PSX, I remember that. But as awesome as the PlayStation is, I kind of attribute it to where we are as where the industry is. It basically introduced big money to video games, and that kind of like ruined it a little bit. Like, no one wants to take chances anymore because everyone's just thinking about making the profit. Like they'll never make a where is it? Oh. I know the magazines call it the PSX, but jeez, I know magazines call it the PSX, and I know a couple of people at school called it the PSX. I think they did it to differentiate itself from
from what the Super Nintendo add-on was going to be called. Yeah, that's right. It's supposed to be a Super Nintendo add-on. Yeah. There was a, what was it? The PS1 with the one spelled out, O-N-E. I remember I bought that at GameStop used for like $30. No. And then I sold it. Oh damn, these guys are tough. Hold on. Yeah, I bought it because I had a lot of PlayStation games, but my PlayStation broke, like it stopped reading the discs, and my cousin wanted it because he knew how to fix things and he wanted to mod chip it, so I sold it to him for like $40, but I still had my games and I wanted to and I wanted to play them again, and at GameStop I saw it for like $30 used, and I bought it, and I had it for like a long time. Then I gave it away after I got my PlayStation, my PlayStation 2. Okay, yeah. I played it for a little bit on the 360, but honestly, it was way too much of a grind. I think I got up to like a level 15 or other, and then I was like, yeah. There's definitely an audience for this, and I could probably do something with it, but I don't think I have the patience to play this, and I just stopped playing it. Come on, all right. I remember, and I would see people riding on chocobos, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. And then like I can't like, and then like I look at their levels and what they have, and I chatted with one of them, and these guys are just like on there like 12, 13 hours a day, and I'm like, I don't think I could do that. Okay. And trust me, getting that game that game kept on crashing on the 360. No. Like, get this. I received, I think it was some sort of promotional event. I forgot what it was, but they give you like your own email, and I think they put in codes or something. There was something there that you could use in a game, right? And every time I try to open my email, the game will freeze up. Then a little red light will show up on the middle of my Xbox, on that where the power button is, and then the whole thing will shut off. Then I turn it back on, everything's normal, and then like I go back into the game, I look at the email, I try to open it again, and the same thing happens. Like I couldn't open any email because my Xbox was shut off. Then there were times when it would lose connect, like there would be some sort of like connection error, and then it'll just boot me out of the game. I was like, no, it wasn't a red ring of death. This was before all that stuff started happening. It was like a little red light in the middle, and then it shut off. Oh man, I'm gonna have to. All right, skill, Rika. Whoops, no. Technique, Rika, Gyrus. Yeah. But the red ring of death was a whole different mess. God, that was the worst time. I'm surprised they even put up with it. Just try to kill that thing first. Oh man. I don't, it became too much of a hassle, and then I just stopped, like, alright, you know, you know, the only MMO I'm playing right now let's see. That's what it does? Let's see what happens. Damn! Oh man, wait. Did I miss something? Alright, run. Let's see, did I take a wrong turn somewhere? Oh yeah, I did take a wrong turn. Okay. Alright, let's see if we can retreat. Oh, damn it. Okay, well, you want to... Oh. You see, I don't have... Even back then, I did not have the time to dedicate that much time to a JRPG or an RPG like that. Just recently, I got a level 100 on my PSO2 character, and that took quite a bit of time, like over a year, I think, 2 years. I guess there's I can see the appeal to that, but I'm just like, no, I'm a married man. I have things to do. I can't.
I can't be doing things. I can't be spending too much time. Okay. Alright. Is there anything up here? Nope. I'm the type of guy that goes everywhere just so I Really? That sucks. Is Final Fantasy 11 still playable on the PS2? Figured as much. Yeah, I know the 360 servers went down before the PS2 one, I think. Kill this thing first. Oh man. Everything's only on PC now, huh? I was talking to my old friends about like how similar like the consoles are nowadays, and I was making a point that like, you know, back in our day there was we were talking about back in the day how proprietary, how specifically designed these, you know, these old consoles were, and how consoles nowadays are built in the x86 architecture, and you know, and there's like no uniqueness. But the same game made on the PlayStation is the same game. Well, one game made on the PlayStation is going to be the same game on the Xbox. It's going to be the same game on the PC. Like the hardware, it's all AMD, ATI, same kind of RAM, you know, or slightly different RAM. But at the end of the day, it's like the same game. You can't. You know, it's the same game and it's not changing. Like, there's nothing unique about it. You know, if you look at like RoboCop versus Terminator on the Super Nintendo, and then the same game on the Genesis, they're essentially two different games. You know, they try to play similar, but
it doesn't come out that way and I'm lost. Great.
We're gonna try to kill this thing. You don't like Windows, and you never bought an Xbox. Well, I can see that. That's admirable. I'd be kind of cheap. The computer I'm streaming this off of was, for the longest time, was well, I would say for like 6 months. No, more like 2 months. Oh my God, I'm trying to forget. Something like 2 months was a Linux PC until I needed to do like some work. No. I wanted to play some games that I had on my Steam, so I ended up getting a Windows operating system and loaded it on there. Look how much effort it is to kill one of these guys. There we go. Let's see. Well, get out. I need to get in there. It's funny though. Really? I would assume getting Linux to work requires a lot more work than Windows. All right. Let's see. All right. I remember it being very cheap. There was oh wait. Where's that tower at? Okay, you know what? Item, map, use. So there's one over east and south from here? Yeah, they didn't really finish it. It was, believe it or not, the item is actually in the game, but because they didn't finish it, they never made it. They never made it into an actual item you could find in the game. You know, the hackers, they just said, you know what, let's just put it in here, see if people can figure it out. Because you look at it,
if you look at it, it's not very detailed. It just kind of gives you the shape of Motavia, and then oh. Yeah. Yeah, if you have a game genie, and you can make it as item 1 on your you can make it item 1 in your inventory. You could just like read it all the time. But now in this game, that's the first item you find. Like they purposely put a chest at the beginning of the game, and you could just like pick it up. Oh, item. Oh no. Well, that's fine. I'll just have to use. Struggle at. Wait, where is it? Did I sell it? Oh no. I'd be so mad if I sold it. Paseo! Wow, it definitely is a big downgrade from what we remember at part 2. Yeah. That's only armor. Alright. Alright. I'm actually planning to end the stream now. But thanks, man, for watching. Take care, Force Stealer. Thank you for being here with me, chatting. I'm going to go ahead and save this because I'll be back with it later. Here, where's my thing? Alright, so yeah, take care of yourself. Thanks for watching. And hopefully to catch you next time. Peace out.